Let me thank the Security Council Working Group and especially the Mexican chair of that working group for this resolution, which we feel is extremely historic. The first thing we would like to commend is the process that took place, which was though it was member state led, it was in full consultation with UN agencies and all child protection partners. And the consensus and unanimity that came out of this resolution, I think, shows again that the UN system works best when it comes to children, and it worked very well, this process, and we really have to thank Mexico for shepherding this through. What is important is to see this in the history of the children in armed conflict before the Security Council. As you know, the first action was by my predecessor, Olara Otuno, proposing that there would be an annual report on this issue. Then we moved on to having these annexes, which are the list of shame, parties that recruit and use children in situations of armed conflict. And then, of course, 1612 has set up the working group and a monitoring and reporting mechanism. What is important to note here is that what is happening is, while earlier the list of shame, as we call it, or the annexes, only were involved with issues relating to the recruitment and use of children as child soldiers, but we have, because of this resolution now, it is expanded, so we will list, the Secretary General will list parties that also commit sexual violence against children and also kill and maim contrary to international humanitarian law. So we think this is a very important expansion, and we are very happy with it. We know that listing has consequences. When I go out into the field and meet with parties, the fact that they are listed and the fact that there is the possibility of targeted measures against them has brought them in line. And recently, as you know, the developments in the Philippines and the Central African Republic are examples. Not all parties, but some do come in line. And I think it's very important to recognize that. Now we hope that this kind of listing will have the same consequences for sexual violence and killing and maiming. We also want to thank the Security Council Working Group for making explicit reference to the DPKO policy and the CPA in their resolution, as we feel that the issue of child protection should be mainstreamed in all UN peacekeeping operations. So just to conclude, this is a landmark resolution when you think it is the only thematic issue on which the Security Council is so engaged and collectively engaged. And I think we now in the UN system have to galvanize ourselves to meet the responsibility of helping to implement this resolution. And we look forward to working closely with the working group, and especially the chair, the Mexican government. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.